I decided to get my real estate license, and that's when my name kind of changed to Gogo, because being in sales, you want a name that people can actually pronounce, right? So I got into real estate, realized that HGTV makes it look super nice and simple, but that's not the reality of actually selling real estate.
Right.
And it's very cutthroat. It's not just selling, it's a lot of marketing, because where your clients are going to come from. It's a lot of negotiations, because you have to know the industry, and you have to know lending, and you need to know title, and you need to know the buying and the seller side. And you're just kind of the punching bag for everybody in the middle. And so you have to have thick skin, and you have to be really good at objection handling, and you're always working, right? So you go from working a 40-hour job to working 90-hour weeks when you're not getting paid for 3 months at a time, right? It's because real estate is kind of a roller coaster. But thankfully, I had my husband and I had his salary, so we can always fall back on if I had shitty months. And so that's how it started. But I'm the sorest loser, and I interviewed all of the top producing agents, because I wanted to figure out, like, what does it take to be a top producer? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you a top producer and I'm not a top producer, right? Like, one am I chopped liver? So I interviewed all of them in the office at the time I was with Real Estate One, to find out what they are doing. And they all were kind and told me. And some of them were buying leads from the Zillows of the world. Some of them were door knocking. I'm 5'2" little blonde with an accent. No chance. Um, Plus dogs always just come at me. So I'm like, not happening. I'm stranger danger. Some of them were cold calling. So for that, first of all, my name is Gogo and I have an accent. Like, you know how well that's going to go on a cold calling. Like, I was like, yeah, that's a wrong line of work, honey. Okay. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna cold call. I'm not gonna door knock. I can't afford to buy Zillow leads. So I'm like, okay, then what else is there for me? Oh, some of them are doing postcards, which is called farming. But when you do postcards, first of all, they end up in the trash most of the time. Second of all, you have to farm a large enough area. You have to farm it all the time, which at the time was like 40 cents or something like that per postcard, with the postage on it and all that. I didn't have 40 cents 1,000 times over every single week, right?
Yeah.
And so that wasn't an option. So I was like, okay, well, then what? Because I'm not going to be a loser. So I didn't get a real estate license to get out of business. 80% of realtors get out of the whole idea of real estate in the first year. And then whatever's left, they get out of real estate in the second year. I think it's less than 10% of realtors make it to year five.
Wow.
The top 20% of realtors do 80% of the business. So most, I don't know if you know this stat, but in 2025, last year, 71.1% of realtors have not sold a single house.
Oh, wow.
So that means 28.9% of realtors are actually the ones who do any business. But
Yeah.
that also doesn't mean some of them sold one house all year. But 71% of them have not sold a single house. And to be a realtor, you have monthly fees, you have to have board access, you have to have MLS access, you have to belong to a brokerage, right? So it costs, I would say, a realtor $200 to $300 a month to be a licensed agent without selling anything, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, if I'm pitching money out, that's stupid. I didn't get into real estate to pitch out $300 a month. I got into real estate to actually make money, right? And so after doing the research, figuring out what I'm not willing to do, and figuring out what I'm not able to afford, like the postcards and the Zillow leads, I decided, I'm like, okay, the avenue then I'm gonna take, drum roll, ready, Facebook, because it was free and there
Yeah.
were people on there. We are talking, this is back in 2011, right? And so I started Gogo's Real Estate on Facebook, and I started with the idea of like, hey guys, did you know? Like, I would post videos of like, did you know? Did you know that if you're a veteran and discharged with honors, you don't have to pay your property taxes, right? Like, these type of things. And then so when you start sharing knowledge over time, that automatically makes you the expert. So as I was growing and as I was sharing more knowledge, more clients was coming to me because they looked at me as the local expert.